You have women that are afraid to use their strength or afraid to be strong because they think they're going to be muscularly big, or they think they're going to look too masculine, or they think they're not going to find a man. Right? We're taught that if you're too smart, if you're too strong, no man's going to want you. You're going to intimidate him. Okay, then he's not a man. Sorry. Then you have the other women that they too strong. They go to the other side. They cover up their feminine side and their weaker side because they don't want you to see.
Welcome to HPM Wellness, Women's Peak Performance with 360-degree vision. My name is Daria Tiesler. If you like our videos, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's welcome Adrienne Smith. Today we're going to discuss integration of health and fitness from the perspective of a female strength coach, and we're going to dig a bit deeper into women, health and fitness at the different life stages. Welcome, Adrienne, and thank you so much for joining our interview.
Thank you so much for the invite. Yeah, you're right. This is a huge topic, and I don't think that we are talking enough about it. I think it's time to bring it to the forefront and show the differences between women and men and how to teach women about themselves. I don't think a lot of women understand this amazing cycle that we have and this amazing body and this amazing brain that we have that is in many ways, and I don't mean this in a sexist way, but superior to men. However, we don't know how to necessarily use it to better our health. We kind of don't listen to it enough, and we end up making ourselves sicker and tireder at the end of the day.
That's why I'm so excited to speak with you. I'm always excited with every single speaker I have got, right? But new podcast, new journey. But as you said, it's so important that women finally understand internal and inside of their external body. What else weight training, fitness, and that type of approach to weight training that we're going to talk about, or to fitness that we're going to talk about, gives them. It's not just physical body, but it's everything else that comes with it. And I can hear that it's going to be amazing conversation. Adrienne, you are a part of a team that continue Charles Poliquin work, and let's dedicate this podcast to him. And I'm sure he's going to be very happy about this, and he's it, because we are mind, body, spirit. And I know that Charles talked heavy about heart and love, and in that different dimensional understanding. Tell us more about your journey, right? I know you did a little bit bodybuilding. Tell us everything what we're supposed to know about you.
Okay, so it goes way back 20 plus years ago. I'm a skinny girl that didn't want to be super skinny and couldn't put on, weight, I guess you can say. So I entered the gym. At the time, I was a mechanical engineer for the automotive industry. So I tend to engineer machines. Yeah. So during that process, I got out of engineering because it was just, a man's industry. It was very difficult for a female to be there. And then I find myself in another man's industry as a strength coach. Go figure. So, but this one I love more. So with this one, I will dig my heels and stand up. So in the process of weight training myself, I rotated my SI joint, ended up in the chiropractic office, saw my spine. I had scoliosis. I was an inch and a half higher on the right side. That happened because I was hit by a car when I was 6. So when I saw my x-ray, he says, I'm like, wow, that person's a mess, right? Like, oh my God, right? And he says, that's you. And I'm like, no, that's not me. I don't look like that. He's like, yeah, that's you. So once I accepted it, it was, we talk about Charles and his other layers. Well, that intuitiveness, that empathic side of us tends to come out. And these white lines shot across my x-ray as I'm looking at it. And it was like long, short, short, long, short, long, short, long. I started engineering my own spine. So, like I said, this was 22 plus years ago. There was no Google. There was no, nothing I did not know of Charles. I didn't know of Paul. I didn't know of anybody. And I found myself in the library of a college trying to figure out what muscles went where, what their job was, and how to create exercises for them to put my spine back. In that process, I found and stumbled upon Paul Chek. Paul Chek introduced me to Charles, and then basically I stuck next to Charles, completely latched onto his side forever. And I studied what he studied and who he studied, and he really opened my world to not just strength coaching and not just correctives, but body work. So I do 8 modalities of body work now. I'm deep into functional medicine. I do biohacking. It's almost like you take the human body and there's so many layers. You should know a little bit of all of it, especially because, I don't get to work with, athletes like Charles did. I don't know what's coming in my door, but because of working with Gen Pop, 9 times out of 10, no, 9.99999% out of 10 people that come through my door are not in a state of, oh, I'm healthy. I just want to lose an extra 20, 30 pounds. Well, if you were healthy, you wouldn't have 20 or 30 pounds to lose. Okay. So then I always get the ones that are like, I've tried everything in the world, every coach, every method, every diet, nothing works for me. So when you get those people coming in and being the engineer that I am, I start backwards engineering these people and I take them sometimes all the way to birth. It's crazy to see how it can affect their life just from the gut biome of their mother, right? So in a nutshell, that's my life. I started my gym in 2007, been open ever since. And then 2 years ago now is when I was asked to join Strength Sensei as the women's specialist coach.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad to hear all of this because I didn't know every single detail of your journey, but it kind of reminds me a little bit my journey and how I end up. And I was professional athlete, end up with injuries, and then you're like, okay, I have to walk. I have to, you're not anymore in that performance state. And then as my professional career progressed, I also would be working with those people, as you said, who lost hope, or they were just about to lose hope. And yes, you have to dig deeper than just superficial weight loss, because if they were able to do this, they wouldn't come to see you. And that is maybe some topic, as it seems like you have lots of insights about this as well to discuss, because no one talks about this. It's not like everyone can just get diet, lower their calorie deficit, and train 5 times a week and end up with big weight loss. You know this because you work with people like that. And there is another big conversation about this. We have to stop to being kind of caught up in the same vicious circle, because what works for one person does not work for another one. So we are like good friends, seems like.
Yes, exactly. And that's huge, because I know for me, a lot of people almost argue with me that I cannot be this lean and I cannot be this strong and I cannot get ready for a bodybuilding competition while doing a strongman competition, while doing a powerlifting competition. And there's no way that I can be PBing on my heavy lifts, getting ready for a bodybuilding competition below 7% body fat. Yes, I can. And I do. But I'm different than everybody else. I'm different than the next person. And yes, I still have my limitations and I have to listen to that as well. But I think that that's where people have to understand, I can have 10 women in front of me that are suffering from PCOS and have to treat every single one of them differently.
Yes.
Because the thing that makes them different is their gut biome, right? And that's what got them in that position to begin with. So you have to treat each one differently. And I think that's what makes the job not so boring, and can be fun, but oh, can be so tiring at times.
Yes, 100%. The thing reward when you see your client smiling is worth, right? Every single
Exactly.
thing. And it's so interesting for me when I was thinking of questions and typing them down to make it a nice comprehensive overview of our topic. Um, I said, I'm not going to put too much about functional medicine because it's another topic, but I'm
Yes.
so glad you are mentioning those things like gut, PCOS, hormones, and how we have to balance them according different types of life stages women is in. So please keep popping anything that's kind of comes to you, because I want to awake any single woman that is going to listen this podcast, that there is something beyond my fitness pal and HIIT training when you are stressed and overload
Yeah.
with a
Yes.
child crying next to you. Right?
Yes, exactly.
It's a big story. As it is wellness podcast, my question is, what wellness does mean to you?
What does wellness mean to me?
Yes.
Okay, so wellness to me is inside out. So it's understanding your systems, having all of your hormonal systems working correctly, being completely balanced and centered, right? And that's energy work, that's chakras, that's hormones, that's gut health, that's brain health, that's everything. The body comes with it, right? So to me, wellness really is more inside.
I'm asking this question, Adrienne, every single guest I'm speaking with, because I want to also open up the perception of what is wellness, because seems like is another trendy word around the social media, and we kind of exchanging for diet, or we exchanging for fitness, and that's not really what wellness is much deeper understanding. So thank you so much for sharing. And why I wanted to ask you what is integrated fitness, because I saw this on one of your social media photos, and I saying that is another thing I really love and really I am attracted to. And would you give us some insights? What is integrated fitness?
Yeah, so my gym's name is FE3 Integrated Fitness, and FE is the symbol for iron. And then three, because of the layers that we work with the body, right? Because we do strength coaching, we do correctives, and we do the body work, I guess you can say too, and then we do the nutrition. So it's the three, and we're integrating fitness. Because, like I had mentioned when we first started talking, you can't separate them. If you want to be a good strength athlete, if you want to be strong, you have to be healthy. If you want your body to function correctly, structurally and soft tissue wise, you have to be healthy, right? There's no way to get around it. It's like going to the doctor. It annoys me. You go to the shoulder specialist who doesn't look at the hip specialist, who doesn't talk to the knee specialist, who doesn't talk to the foot specialist, who doesn't talk to the brain specialist, who doesn't talk to the heart specialist. What are you doing? The last time I looked, the human body was one. It's integrated, yes, at all levels. So that's why I picked integrated fitness. That's what I think of integrated fitness means. You're doing exactly what the human body is supposed to do, which is bringing it all together as one and not separating one from the other.
I can see this as forward thinking in fitness industry, and that's why I picked this. And I think more trainers need to think that way. And I think 2021, 2020, obviously that COVID situation, it's a big opportunity for many trainers to think differently, step out of their comfort zone and began to think about integration in fitness. Is not just counting reps, right? As
Yes,
many coaches
exactly.
that, right?
Mhm.
There is a, true to that great design training program is going to bring you great results. And you know this and I know this, but there is more to that. It's not just staying focused on one single movement like squat when that person has completely washed microbiome because drinks alcohol or has been taking many antibiotics or is not sleeping overnight. I think the integration is so much needed. So I encourage many trainers to reach for courses run by Strength and State, because I know, guys, you are driving towards that path.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the last thing to worry about with somebody that's knocking on the door of an autoimmune disease is how perfect their squat is, right? I don't think it matters at that point.
I
And
agree with you.
right, and then you look at recovery and it's like, okay, well, their squat is perfect, but they're recovering for crap. So does it matter that their squat is perfect and how many reps and sets you're getting? No, it doesn't matter. And unfortunately, due to our choices of food that we are given, because we're not hunters and gatherers anymore, even though we are still designed to be, okay? We can go to the grocery store now and get everything. It's not the best selection of food. And so we're so malnutritioned. And if we talk about women being malnutritioned, the birth control pill alone takes out every nutrient that you need for methylation and for your whole endocrine system. Okay. If none of you know what that is, Google your methylation system and your endocrine system and realize how important all of that is, not just for the way you look, but how you function on a daily life, on a daily schedule, right? Why can't you wake up in the morning like you want to pick up your child? Why don't you have the energy for this? Why aren't you producing milk? Why can you not get pregnant? Why is it that your fertility is low? Take a look at that. It's crazy.
We can explore this topic a little bit further. We meant to do that a little bit later, but we can do this right now.
We can do whenever.
Fantastic. And I agree with you. The amount of women I see in my clinic taking anticonceptive pills since they were 15 and they are now in their 30s, 40s, it is crazy. And when you ask them, have you ever asked your doctor to check your liver enzymes? Have you ever had a break from it? No, the answer is no. And they don't really understand why suddenly their hormones close to menopause or premenopause stage. We know that we can premenopause from age 35. They start to begin to have all those issues. So I'm very happy. Let's talk about this. Let's give us this subject. What is wrong about this anticonceptive pills? I think wrong. Maybe I'm a little bit forward thinking, but I think it's damaging women to some extent.
So this is the stuff that we're teaching in Strength Sensei now, which is amazing. But a woman runs on a 30-day cycle. A man runs on a 24-hour cycle. When a woman is on the pill, there's no ovulation, which means she does not have a 30-day cycle. She has a 24-hour cycle. Okay? But like a man is designed to replenish his testosterone levels at the end of the day. Okay, that's why he comes home at the end of the day. He doesn't want to be bothered. He wants to sit on the couch. He wants to rest. That is a woman's messy cycle. However, she doesn't rest then either, because if she's on the oral contraceptive or any hormonal contraceptive, she probably isn't even having a cycle. And if she does, it's fake. They designed that so that women would accept the pill thinking they were still normal. You're not, because you're not ovulating. Okay. On top of that, so she's not following her natural circadian rhythm. So she's not resting right. She's not replenishing right. She doesn't understand that this first week of the follicular phase is when you're supposed to really hit it hard in the gym. And then as you go down, you lay low, right? We don't do that. On top of it, all the minerals and nutrients and vitamins that are being sucked out of your body from the contraceptive. It weakens the immune system. It messes with your hormone. Now, here's the other thing. If a woman, and in America, there's women getting it at 9, there's girls getting it at 9 years old. Okay. It's almost like antibiotics used to be, everything was an antibiotic. Now, any female that walks in the door that says, I have headaches, here's a birth control. My period's not regular. Here's a birth control. Here's this. Here, give a birth control. I have acne. Give birth. The wind blew left instead of right. Give a birth control. Right? It's absurd. And the thing that is I think women should be most aware of is how bad it messes with your gut biome. It works as an antibiotic. okay? It causes an overgrowth of other gut biome that holds on to estrogen, okay? So here you are taking a progestogen based supplement, if you will, but your body's holding on to estrogen. Do you know what you're doing? It's crazy. It's like, what do you want from me? Cortisol levels become a problem. Serotonin, dopamine become a problem. And because a woman doesn't have that cycle to follow, she doesn't rest. We burn the candle at both ends, upside down, inside. We burn the candle where there's not even room to burn a candle. We're inventing candles, right? We don't take the time to pay attention to our bodies. And when you're on oral contraceptives, you almost, it's more like saying you have a man's cycle instead of a woman's cycle. So some women can look at that and say, this is great. It allows me to do this, this, and this, and this. But in the long run, you will die of heart disease faster. You will end up with aging faster. You will end up with insulin issues. You're going to end up with permanent hormonal issues because it is an anabolic steroid. So just like when you come off of a cycle, right? Anybody that does them or understands that, when you take a birth control pill for that long, you cannot undo the damage all the time. Okay? You have to understand too, if you get pregnant within a certain amount of time coming off of that, what it's doing to the baby, right? Because a lot of women don't understand how to detoxify and set their body up from being on that. And it takes more than 6 months, ladies. We're talking 2 years plus, depending on how long you've been on it. Okay. The other thing is birth control pills limit your ability to put on muscle mass by 60%. So for all you women out there that are taking the pill and wonder why you can't put on muscle and why you have to keep outrunning this diet and outrunning the fact that you can't tone up, perhaps it's your oral contraceptive. Okay? So it's like totally undoing everything that you're goal setting for.
I'm so glad you mentioned that window of once you leave anticonceptive pills to prepare yourself for pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
That is another like topic of conversation.
Yes,
You
it is.
creating damage for so many months, then within 1 month you want to get pregnant. And that is just lack of awareness and lack of education. And as you mentioned, that's what I remember from functional medicine courses I've done. Is not 3 months, not 6 months, it's 2 years.
Yep.
And how many women has pregnancy after pregnancy after pregnancy? They never return to their physical and biological health. So no wonder once they hitting age 50 or premenopausal stage, they just burn. There is nothing left. And then there is another thing coming, which is hormone replacement therapy, which is again, there is lots of happening right now. But again, when you're listening, educators, and I don't want to criticize anyone, everyone has their own space and place. But again, no one talks about cortisol, what it does to hormones, how the hormones are uptake, but about lifestyle, about nutrition. No one talks. It's just, okay, now you finish anticonceptive pills, now you're 50, now take estrogen, take progestin, and take all these sorts of things that I believe who prescribe them, they don't understand them by themselves because they not that taught how to do this. So amazing that you're teaching that, Adrienne.
Yeah, I think it's important. And I think before you get on the pill to fix something, look at your food. You have to look at your food first because, and here's the other thing, a lot of women get on, say you get on the birth control pill for a symptom, yes? Like your cycle's not regular, it's too heavy, it's too light, it's not long enough, it's not short enough, whatever. When you come off of that, again, you're going to have that issue bigger, plus probably more because you just covered up the problem, right? You just kind of like put a band-aid on it, like nobody wants to see that pimple underneath there. But then when you take the band-aid off, now you have 10, right? It's the same thing with these pills. And people don't realize that. Your body, if a female takes time to learn her cycle and understand how to train and how to eat at every week of her cycle, when to take a break at certain times of her cycle, when to hit it hard on certain times of her cycle, she will not need a birth control pill for 90% of the other issues going on, right? Because just like your heart rate, just like your blood pressure, just like your glucose levels, your period tells so much about the health of your body.
Yes, fantastic. And I think I'm going to jump to another question, but I really would love that we come up to this conversation even for half an hour and learn further about what women can learn about herself from just observing her menstrual cycle, because there is a like huge insight, and this is a thing when every single woman should start with. So thank you so much for those amazing insights, and I hope we awaken women and brought some awareness here. I've got a quote here that I actually took from your social media post, and I really love it, and I think it's a big topic of conversation. Adrienne, girls are taught to view their bodies as an ended project to work on, whereas boys from a young age are taught to view their bodies as a tool to master the environment. Let's talk about this. What is your advice to any woman who is relating to that?
Yeah, this goes kind of back to body dysmorphia, right? You ask any female, I don't care who she is and how fantastic she looks, what she likes about herself, and it's almost a dumbfounded look. We don't know, right? Maybe we find something, my nail color, you know? Um, you ask a woman what she doesn't like about her body, and she'll go head to toe. She doesn't shut up. It goes on and on, right? Men, um, men, Charles Poliquin men, um, they don't view themselves as that. They know that their body is meant to do something. It's meant to work. It's meant to be used in a certain way, whether they're using their brain, whether they're using their strength, whatever it is. And I don't think women do that enough. And this goes two ways. This goes two ways. You have women that are afraid to use their strength or afraid to be strong because they think they're going to be muscularly big, or they think they're going to look too masculine, or they think they're not going to find a man. Right? We're taught that if you're too smart, if you're too strong, no man's going to want you. You're going to intimidate him. Okay, then he's not a man. Sorry. Then you have the other women that they too strong. They go to the other side. They cover up their feminine side and their weaker side because they don't want you to see, right? So they become too dominant in the strength industry. They become too dominant in using their masculine side. And I think it boils down to that balance, just like a man. There is a time for a woman to be mentally strong, emotionally strong, and physically strong. And it's okay. You're allowed to be. That does not make you any less of a female. Okay. Now, we have a bigger job as a female, right? Our tool, our body as a tool, is not just meant to harvest food, to prepare food, to take care of our children, to keep our children safe, to make sure our husband is taken care of, to make sure we're doing a good job at work, right? It's also, you know, to plow fields and things like that. We do that. But there's also the time that we're allowed to be feminine. That stuff doesn't make us not feminine. Okay? It makes us an all-around woman, an all-around being. Okay? So I think if women understood, when your child gets hurt, you're soft. You hold them. You know, when your husband comes home and he's upset and you want to fix that as a woman, that's what we do. We fix. We're caregivers, yeah? So understanding the two go together, it's okay, right? And understanding that balance just like a man does. Okay. I think that's why I liked that saying so much, is because I don't think women appreciate the being that they've been given. And I think a lot of them abuse it and ignore it in two ways. Those women that are afraid of being too muscular, too big, too strong, ignore their strong side. And then the women that are too strong, too powerful, I can do anything a man can do, are too dominant, and they both stress themselves out in different ways.
I cannot agree with you more, and that was amazing explanation. And yeah, I don't think I want to add anything here. You just gave beautiful explanation to the meaning of the sentence, and um, I think what we're trying to push also in this podcast is that understanding that becoming stronger or using strength with weight training is only going to help you one way inside or way outside, right? Because I'm sure yourself as myself, I've seen many women who have started weight training, and I can even pick an example. I had a client who kind of contacted me. I said, how things going? How is your home workout going? And she said, no home workout, sorry, she joined Pilates class, right? It is great. It is great. Every modality of training is good, depending of
Yes.
what you need at that time of your life. But she said, Daria, I can do things there for all day. I can go for classes, but I never ever had the same feeling and benefits on my body as when I was doing weight training. And that's what we're trying to manifest here, and what we're
Mhm.
trying to discover and unravel. You will not grow your muscles that fast as you think. You are not designed to do that. And
Right.
yes, genetically, you, maybe myself as well, we are more gifted in that way. Probably profile of hormones is different, but not everyone can get there, so please don't worry about that.
Well, and you know what? Talking about that real quick, there was a new study that was done on the 7 max rep. They used 7 max rep, and women were included in the study, which is nice because most women are not included in the study. But what they talked about was how you were able to burn more fat in the muscle, the marbling of the muscle, right? By really pushing it to get those reps. And like the interview that or the coaches roundtable that we did on the last Strength Sensei, we discussed that. And I don't think it matters if you're doing 7 reps, if you're doing 3 reps, or if you're doing 10 or 15 reps. We don't want to do 15, but it doesn't matter. It's when you push yourself with that weight that you actually burn more fat. What I think women should understand is that the muscle is the largest organ of the body. The health of that muscle tissue determines how you will age, how long it'll take you to age, what you will die of, what diseases you will get, right? So, muscle is important. It's literally your Botox storage, if you will, right? This is what makes us younger. It keeps us insulin resistant. It keeps us, or excuse me, insulin sensitive. It balances the hormones, right? It increases strength training increases GABA. Okay, how many women have depression and anxiety, mostly from those stupid birth control? But they have it, and the way to deal with it is not a pill. Get into the gym and lift heavy shit. Sorry.
I'm happy that you say those words. It's not me, it's you. I'm clean. Fantastic. But it's great that you are touching the topic of aging, because there's lots of studies indeed coming about aging and muscles. And very funny enough, when I was reading one of them, actually muscles as an organ came as the largest organ around the female, around the body, not skin, where everyone says
Yes.
skin is the largest organ. So it's a fantastic fantastic topic, and for those reasons women have to live dementia, Alzheimer, all the diseases of aging. And there are I know that there are studies that say more muscle you've got, your brain is not shrinking that fast, so you are more capable of maintaining your cognition later on in life. And as you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, Adrienne, is not just look, but women have to find other reasons why to get the body, mind, and heart, spirit, whatever they want to call it, connected and sorted.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I did not walk into a gym I mean, at first when I was younger, yes, I walked into the gym to put weight on. Now that I'm 46 years old, it's like, no, this is, I want to look. And it's funny because when I'm out in public, people don't walk up to me and like, oh, your biceps are huge, or some guys do, but for the most part, I always get, you look good, you look healthy, you radiate health. To me, that's what I want, right? I want to look healthy. The rest of this comes with it when you're healthy. I want to live for longevity, right? I want to be able to teach all of this amazing information that keeps changing all the time to as many people as I can. And Charles was huge on brain health. And I will tell you that is my top priority, is my brain health, now that I dealt with my gut and my dysbiosis many years ago. Um, because your brain is the only organ that doesn't age. It's also the only organ that you can undo the damage to, no matter how old you are,
Yes.
right? So I think that is super important. But like I said, when you go into the gym and you lift and you train and you eat and you sleep and you live to be healthy, you wake up one day literally and there is a body to match it.
Yes, exactly. You mentioned underneath consistency, discipline, right? Because and time, women need to give time to make those things happen. Body is very clever, but often we just want this quick change, and that is not happening over time, because over time you're also changing your habits and behaviors, and that's also what underneath of our conversation we're trying to talk about and trying to kind of convince you go and lift your
Yeah,
feet.
absolutely. Well, like I said, learning your cycle, because it will fit in everything you're supposed to be doing, and you will understand that yes, it doesn't take overnight. And again, how long has the damage been there? How long has the gut issues been there? How long has, you've had a imbalance in the musculature that you're trying to fix? Like it took you years to get here, right? I think at one time I heard if it took you 6 years to get there, it's going to take you 3 years to get back, like half the time. But again, that depends on how consistent you are with your new lifestyle, not your new diet, not your new diet, your new lifestyle, because that's what this is. This is a new habits, new life. People say to me, how do you eat like you do? Don't you miss this? Don't you miss this? Don't you miss this? No, I don't, because I've been eating this way for so long now that it's not normal to me to grab those other things, right? I remember when my youngest daughter was in school, and one of the ladies called me and said, I just want you to know you're making the rest of us look bad, and I would like your daughter's food menu for the week. I'm like, excuse me? Well, this was the mother that my daughter said, her mom had stuffed cake into a Tupperware bowl and that was her lunch. What? Okay, great. So my daughter, we always eat healthy. My daughter's never had candy off of a shelf. She's never had fast food. She was breastfed for 18 months. I made her baby food, like you name it. Okay, so the girl eats super healthy now, even now, because she hasn't never tasted those man-made foods, right? So she says it to me, and I said, ma'am, I don't even know who you are. I said, I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I said, but we wake up 1 hour before we have to leave. And in that hour, we eat breakfast, we get cleaned up, we get dressed, I pack her lunch. Okay. I don't have a food menu. This just happens to be what's in my house. It's good food. She likes vegetables. She likes real meat. This is just how I cook my food. And she says, so you're not going to give me her menu? And I said, no, I don't have one. I said, but I'm a strength coach. I educate. I said, if you'd like, I can get all the women together and I can teach you how to, change what you're in. She really just wanted me to give her this menu. And I said, I don't have one, you know? So this is just how I eat. So for me to grab a bag of chips, a bag of cookies, crackers, I don't understand that, right? Just like it's hard for people to understand that I eat 4 pounds of meat a day with a lot of fat and some vegetables or fruit, depending on the season that we're in.
Beautiful. Based on that, we are chasing lifestyle, not chasing the diet. But I
You
get
got
you
it.
so much. People want from you diet because they think that diet is magic. There is not. In
Yeah.
every single step you are doing every single day. Let's talk a little bit about women's training. just in little nutshell, what is changing? Because there is lots of changing. We actually seen women lifting weights. There's lots of comments and follows around, that body shame, because, women are ashamed that they look a little bit bigger, all of this funny stuff, right? We say funny because we know that this affecting women. It's not going to affect me and you, but it's going to affect women that probably will grow more confidence about their own body. So what is changing? We're going from pink dumbbells away, right?
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't want to offend anybody, but I think what is changing is the acceptance of more body fat. I think that that is, I hate to say it, but it's wrong. And it's wrong in the sense of where you're storing that, what's going on. Those are system disorders. Okay. I'm not saying that you have to be sub 10% body fat. I'm not saying you have to look like a competitor, a bodybuilder. No, I'm not saying that. But there is a difference between healthy and unhealthy. And I know people argue and say, oh, but her numbers, her blood work is fine. She's healthy, even though she's 30 pounds, 20 pounds, 15 pounds overweight. No, you're not. What you are is you're fit into a window of what they're saying is healthy. Okay. So blood work, they take the top bottom of the sickest people in the world and they take the healthiest people in the world off of that. And then they give you an average. And as long as your number falls right underneath or right above those averages, you're healthy. No, you're not. Right. And it's looking at those numbers and that blood work in a different way. Okay, it's not just one number you look at. You have to look at all of it together, just like the human body. You have to look at it all together. Okay, so I think that that is the first thing that I would say that's changing that is wrong. Okay, the other thing I think is changing is that I love the idea that women are more accepting and social media is more accepting and the world is more accepting of stronger looking women too. Um, but I think that there is again that misconception of you have to lift this way and you have to do this type of training to be that way. And no, you don't have to be. And I'm not going to lie when I say those women are 9 times out of 10 enhanced. Okay. So when you look at social media, you have a girl that's looking, a woman, a female, a little girl, an older woman, doesn't matter, who's looking at a quote unquote certain type of athlete that looks like, she's slightly knocking on the door of being too masculine. And then you have the woman who's a little bit overweight, and these are both considered healthy on the extremes. Okay. No, no. All right. And that's what I hate about social media. And that's what I hate about what we get to pick and choose and see and these windows that we're given to look through, right? We're like horses where they put the blinders on so that you can only see what they want you to see. um, your health is definitely individualized, but I don't like, and I think that it's wrong that that's the new acceptance of the female body. What I do like is I think that women are understanding that exercise is okay outside of Pilates class, outside of jazzercise class, outside of high intensity training, outside of spin class, outside of yoga class. All of those are great. But as an aging female, you need to understand the health and the importance of muscle tissue itself.
I'm so glad you mentioning that. I'm in my 40. I'm going to be 41 in November, and the last 3 years has been challenging for me for different reasons, which obviously affected my body. I've lost my sister in a sudden accident, lost my grandfather. Then few months after, I became pregnant at age 38, and I'm breastfeeding still in 2 years and 5 months. It's not to being proud of this to one way, but that's what my body is able to do. And also we have to give other women options. If they don't want to, please don't, right? So we're not forcing anything. We don't say this is better or this is worse, but I can see how sleepless nights, increased cortisol, obviously with age you're losing the ability to build the muscle because testosterone and DHA dropping down, and all these traumas just went on your body. And yes, I can see quick changes when I hit the gym because my body knows this, but also quick loss and
Mhm.
of muscle mass. And I think that's what women need to remember about. To adding further on your comments, Adrienne, you're not going to be able to maintain this if you're not caring about this.
Yes,
Like you
yes.
said, it's every single day care, because the moment something happen, you out. So you have to create lifestyle, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think there is ever too late, but probably those women who did work before, they're going to be in a better advantage and better position because body kind of is happy about this. But as you said, as an aging woman, you need to remember about other benefits on your body, just only being in that shape. And again, those extremes, when sometimes you see on social media young women telling, yeah, I can get this body. I said, yes, when I was 20, I also was able to
Yeah.
get this, right? I remember I could, I never stopped to training. That is number one thing. I never had that long break from lifting. So then I maintain when you're 20. But when you are 30, 40, 50, you are not in advantage, and you need to search for advantages.
But you know what? I want to talk about that for a second
Mm-hmm,
because I think there's a little bit of misconception there too, in the sense
mm-hmm,
that the biggest thing with women as we age is our gut biome has died off because of stress, because of having children, because of life, right? And cortisol will kill you. Yes, just like insulin is the largest, the most controlling hormone of the body. Okay. So when you're 20, you think you're cute and you're eating all that sugary stuff, which nowadays the girls in their 20s don't look like I did in my 20s. Okay. I was a beanpole. I literally could eat anything that I wanted to, whatever. Nowadays, these girls are being, they're having babies.
PCOS. Let's be honest, right?
PCOS,
Most
yes,
of them are
which
insulin
is
resistant.
pre-diabetes, by the way. It's pre-diabetes. Let's be real. So insulin issues and cortisol levels. So as we age, any male or female, doesn't matter, but we're talking about females, your gut biome changes, your stress levels, your cortisol, you've had birth control pills, you've had antibiotics, you've had maybe a surgery, you've had losses in your life. And we as women don't know how to say, stop, leave me alone. I need time for myself. I need to grieve. I need to feel sad. Take my child. Please, somebody just handle her or him for a minute. In our community, it's like, oh my God, you did not take care of your child. Who cares what's going on with you, right? You have to take care of your children. You have to take care of your husband. You have to take care of your mate. You have to take care of. No, no, because men don't do it. At the end of the day, every single day, men don't do it. Men will gladly tell you, I need time alone. And we're like, yes, he's a man, he's allowed. We as women are allowed to. And, in the old days when we had villages and communities, right, the older women knew to take the baby from the young girl so that she could rehabilitate, right? They allowed her to do that. We had people that helped us with that. Nowadays, it's like if we have somebody that comes and takes our infant for a couple hours so we can sleep, we're the devil. What's wrong with us? You're not woman enough. You're not strong enough. You're too weak. You're not a good mom. You're terrible, right? BS. That's wrong. So I think, the same thing is like I said, we're under eating and we're training more. We're training more. Women feel guilty when they miss a day of exercising. No, because if you really want that muscle to grow and you want that little pot belly to go away, or you want that abdominal fat to go away, or you want to sleep better at nighttime, take time off the gym, right? Take time away from your family. Take time away from cooking dinner. Take time away from cleaning the house. Okay? Have somebody else come and do it for a minute or let it go,
I'm
whatever.
I'm just sitting here and like knocking my head because I'm agreeing on everything you are saying. And that is a skill for me, I must say, to say no to training, to say no to many things. I had injury, which also put me on the straight line. When you are flying as an athlete, you don't think about this, right? So injury did that. But that is the reason I am not forcing my comeback, right, with my
Yes.
body, because there is no chance. If you don't sleep, doesn't matter how amazing your training is going to be, which is not going to be, that is the first thing, right? You're just only going to increase your cortisol, as you said, which is then not going to support insulin sensitivity, and you're just going to have more fat anyway. And that is again coming back to what you said, how it's important that women understand their cycle. They understand the signs and symptoms and what the body is trying to tell them, instead of suppressing them. And weight loss and fat, I think, is a good sign that there is something going on. It's not just, yes, you ate more than you expended. That is like, I don't want to say old-fashioned way of thinking, but we need to integrate that beyond what this really means. So thank you so much on expanding and talk more about this topic. I've got lots of more questions here, Adrienne, but we might not be able to finish them all. So I just go into the nice one, which I really like. All are amazing, but I want to, we all would love to know what Adrienne is doing in her age, 46, to keep herself, you mentioned a little bit, but to keep yourself in this best optimal health and fitness for your performance, life, for your family, relationships. What do you do?
Honestly, I just eat clean, I exercise right, and I just try to make sure I sleep. So I train, about 6 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. Um, I lift heavy. I don't do cardio. Sorry, girls, I don't do cardio at all,
I'm with
ever,
you.
ever. I train really heavy for the most part. Um, my eating is I eat all game meat. I don't eat any farm processed meats at all. I eat 4 pounds of meat a day. I eat anywhere from 4 to 16 cups of vegetables a day, depending on the season, all organic. I take a crap ton of supplements, and yes, I do. But my supplements, I don't take any sports supplements. I take, everything for my brain, my thyroid support, my cortisol support. Because I do burn the candle at both ends and I know it, I try to give my body that support. Um, and I make sure no matter what, no matter how busy my schedule is, I go to sleep every night at the same time. Every night at the same time. I try my best to make sure that my sleep is my priority. Okay. And like I said, supplementation I take according to what's going on with me. Right now, I'm really working on brain and cortisol and thyroid, adrenal support, all that good stuff. And that's what my focus is as far as my health goes. So it's really not anything special, just consistency. And this is my lifestyle, just the way it is.
It's not special in one way, but it is special because it's designed for you. And because you know your body, you know what needs. And there is nothing wrong with taking tons of supplements, in my opinion, if the rest is sorted. The problem is if we are taking supplements, but we eat crap, we don't sleep, we drink alcohol, and we never break, and we drink 10 coffees before 12 noon, right? That is wrong,
No,
right?
yeah, and I don't touch coffee, and that's a whole nother, man, we can have a whole hour on discussion women and coffee.
Oh, coffee, yes. That's why I kind of picked this final and closing question. So women kind of have more insights into your life, because it's easy to say, do this, do this, do that. But then if we don't preach this by ourselves, we are, it is like waste, right?
Exactly.
So Adrienne, based on whole conversation, 3 simple tips for any single woman who wish to join, the weight training, change lifestyle, whatever. They're noticing something in our conversation that is like saying, oh, for them, what they supposed to do, where they're supposed to go, what is next for them?
Okay. That's a big question too, because it depends on training age, right?
Yes. Yes. Let's do
So
general, and then another time we can break down between age. And I think that will be powerful.
So I think generally speaking, any female, first of all, find a good coach. I think that's important because I think people think that because the gym is open, you can go in, you can use it, you're fine. But, I can't go to a lawyer's office and say, I'm here to do your job today, right? I can't go on Wall Street and say, I'm here to check numbers today, There is a science, there is a method, there is experience that comes with training in a gym. So I would say the first thing is to find a good coach so that you don't get injured trying to train. I would say the second thing is learn to read your cycle. Even if you are on a hormonal contraceptive and your cycle isn't real or it's not right, there are ways to still have a 30-day cycle. Okay. So I would say learn your cycle, learn how to use that because that's going to teach you everything you need to understand about how hard to work, how hard to train, and how hard not to train at different times. Okay. That's super important. And I would say the third thing is get a grip on your nutrition. If it doesn't have eyeballs or grow out of the ground without being processed, right, then don't eat it. It's that simple. And I think another thing with women, please accept fat as a necessity of life, okay? Women need more fat than men, okay? And what I mean is those good fats. Think about animal-based fats, not seed oils, not quote unquote vegetable oils, which are not real, but you want to think stearic acids. And that not only helps with your liver, but it also helps women to keep their body, their endocrine system, their thyroid functioning correctly. And if you eat that way, you'll start to notice a difference in your gut biome on its own, right? And this is like the bare minimal things that you can do that will make a huge, huge change in your life in a matter of 30 days.
Yeah, that is true. You can get those results pretty quickly. It's just following steps Adrienne did mention. Adrienne, how can we find you?
Oh goodness. Everywhere, pretty much. It's crazy. I don't do a lot of social media posting, but I'm everywhere. So my personal is Adrienne Marie 23, which is my Instagram following. Then we have the Strength Sensei. So we have strengthsenseiinc.com. We have the Real Strength Sensei on Instagram and Facebook. FE3 Integrated Fitness on Facebook and Instagram. So there's quite a few ways. And then if you want to email me, it's Adrienne at fitnessevolutionrr.com.
Beautiful. I definitely will add all those informations and link Adrienne under the podcast with all those informations and details. In meantime, thank you so much, Adrienne, for joining. That was a beautiful and insightful conversation, probably more than I have expected, as we haven't spoken never before,
Right?
right? And I hope vice versa. Hope you also enjoyed the conversation.
I did. There's so much more to share. It's hard, right?
Indeed, indeed. And guys, speak soon, see you soon, and enjoy, the rest, whatever you do in your day. Take care.